Okay, so we have put our content in, and now that we have our content in, it's time for us to go in and make some adjustments and changes. So, one thing I want to show you is that on the Quest class, the class that you guys have with me, I decided to go in and remind you how to go and level out your bulleted list. Now, when you put this in here, you could just simply hit enter and then tab to get to that level. Again, that's enter and tab. Or you can click in the level, and over here on the right hand side of your toolbar, you have your increase and decrease indentation buttons. So you have back and forth that you can go in and increase and decrease. So go ahead and take a moment to just practice leveling out that content. That's going to be something that's much more representative of what you would do in an actual presentation in a class. So pause and have your screen match mine for content. Even if you have something else, it should be similar. You can just add the specifics on the levels. Now that we have that done, we're going to move on to what's kind of the most, I think, memorable, most important thing for your presentations, which is to create and add some images in. So within Google, there are multiple things that you can do to add images, but they're all going to be inside this insert menu item. So when you choose insert an image, you now can upload an image from your drive, pull from your photos, upload a link, or take a screenshot in the moment. Looking at upload from my computer, here, this would be things that you've already saved. For now, we're going to do the simplest one and choose search the web. That's going to pop up on this right-hand side, a Google Images search. And then I'm just going to type in, because this is my Avid class, I'm going to type in Avid. I'm going to do Avid one-pager. That's an activity that we do in that class. As I scroll through and look at the different options, I'm just going to go with image number 1. And then insert that in. I'm going to make this smaller. And this is just an example of an activity that would have been done in that class. I use my sizing handles to make it smaller. Whenever you add in an image into a presentation, you're now going to see this button up here that pops up that says Format Options. Go ahead and click Format Options, and you can see that there are a series of things that you can do to change this image. We have our size and rotation. So if you wanted to flip it vertically or horizontally, this would be the way that you would do that. You can do a 90-degree rotation if you wanted to. It kind of depends on where and how you're trying to fit this image into your presentation. I'm going to close size and rotation and now look at recoloring. To recolor, now the reason that you would do this is if you were wanting to match up a theme color, or for this particular example, it's easy for me to just make it darker. Sometimes if you recolor and make it darker, it's easier to read. So I'm going to leave that and then close recolor. And then finally, I have my adjustments. We're going to use this one again a little bit later when we're adding in a picture for a background. But what we can do with this particular one is to increase and decrease our brightness, and then increase and decrease our contrast. So the adjustments, remember your contrast is just the difference between the light and dark parts of your page. So the contrast and brightness can be made with adjustment. So what I did here is I added an image. Once I added the image in, I went in and worked through my recoloring to make it darker. And then for my adjustments, I worked with my brightness and contrast. Go ahead and do that now. And you're going to add an image to each one of your slides that makes sense with the content that you have.